Hi everyone, it is Danny, your scrapper on the street, for your second video of today, because we are going to be taking this load show on the road. I am going up to Orlando for a couple of days, at least until Monday. There's some flexibility on my return, so I have to make sure I have enough stuff to get me through layout a day for the entire time I'm away. Now, I will be driving up, so that does afford me some space, whereas if I was flying, that becomes a challenge where you have your scissors and your cutters and all that. It's harder to fly and harder to put in your carry-on and all that. But since I'm driving and I have the whole passenger seat, back seat, and trunk to myself, I have a little more flexibility. So, hopefully my hostess doesn't mind that I am going to be descending upon her apartment with 9 pounds of scrapbooking stuff. But just to give a little rundown and some tips of what I bring with me when I go on the road, I thought we would start over here. You have seen me use these before. These are Talenti gelato containers. Now, the gelato that comes in them is a little slice of heaven, so it is not a hardship to have to eat the gelato before being able to use the containers. I really like these containers because the tops screw on and off, so you don't have to worry about lids popping off. They are very secure. So I have 3 of them coming with me. This one is filled with those corrugated letters I've been using, as well as the wooden chevrons and the wooden butterflies that I've also been using quite a lot lately, so I really didn't want to go on this trip without them. Then in another, I have some of my favorite ribbons, and then some metal embellishments. I have some keys, but then I also have some graphic 45 buttons and some clock pieces. So I have those. And then in this one is mostly flowers and brads and buttons and maybe a stray piece of baker's twine. Kind of random, but I don't know the prompts in advance. Like many of you, I am the only ones who know them in advance, to my knowledge, is Leslie and Lynette. So I am as much in the dark as you, so I'm trying to prepare for this. I'm trying to bring a little bit of everything without overdoing it. So I have my 3 little containers of some of my favorite embellishments. Then I have this container, and I will not go through this piece by piece, but I did include my favorite punch, is the Martha Stewart Butterfly Punch, and a corner rounder, because you just never know. Now I have tons of punches and stamps and different add-ons and tools and tricks that I could bring, but I stick to these 2. They're the ones I use the most, so they're the ones I feel like I would miss if I didn't bring them. I also have an inking doodad, I'm not really sure what these are called, but you know, the Tim Holtz doodads, and a bunch of sponges, along with many of my distress inks, because you know I love to ink my pages. And I've been inking embellishments a lot more this time around, so those had to come with me. Also in here is my tiny attacher, some pop dots, some glue dots. I have glue refills. I have some buttons, just random things that were from right here on my desk that I knew I wanted to have with me. My pens, my distress markers, my white pen. All the things that I scrap with the most often from on top of my desk in these 2 drawers where I keep my essential things right at the end. So this will be coming with me. And then we will move over here where I have, yes, my cutter. I tried to travel without my paper cutter the last time, and I did complete a layout. And I can't say that it was horrible because it made its way to my book, and I like it, but you kind of have to look at it with your head tilted for it to look straight, because my hand cutting was not ideal. So this time the cutter is most definitely coming. And then the most important piece are photos. Because I don't know the prompts, I printed out a ton of photos. I tried to get from different places, different people. I threw in a sheet of black and white because you never know when that gets thrown in as a prompt. I tried to throw in pictures that were both horizontal and vertical. I talked about how that's a challenge for me earlier in the week. I have pictures from a trip to California last year that I realized I never scrapped. And I have some different sizes. I have some 5x7s. I have some wallet, and then I have these squares. These are the original grid from yesterday's layout, and I thought I never know when I can maybe cut this apart and use bits and pieces of it. So those are coming with me. And then for the most part, this bin is filled with paper. It has my cardstock, black and white. I'm out of craft, and so was the Michaels I went to yesterday. So I did throw in an assortment of browns, and I have a pad of like neutral tones that went in there. And then I have just a bunch of some of my favorite and newest patterned paper. I have a couple of kits I bought. Michaels has been selling these little kits that I've just loved to pieces. I don't know if I can find one off the top, but I threw in a couple of kits. I didn't use my Studio Calico kits. I'm giving them the weekend off because I've been working on them pretty hard and heavy lately. So I'm using some of my other papers that are on my must-use list. And I believe this will be enough to get me through, at the most, 5 days of layout a day. And there you have it. I close it up, shove it in the car, and we have load on the road. I will also bring a book to stash my layouts in once they're complete. And you will see my adventure and if this packing job works out for me. And hopefully you enjoy my videos on the road as well. See you tomorrow. Bye.